What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Everybody deals with awkward moments. It doesn't matter if you're transgender, any other part of the LGBTQ community, black, white, Hispanic, tall, short, everybody deals with awkwardness. Sometimes I feel like I deal with it more than the average person, but that's probably just my anxiety. I figured that I would talk about 5 awkward moments that I deal with as a transgender man, and then I want to talk about how I have made sure those awkward moments don't really happen again. At the end of the video, I wanted to give a shout out to somebody who sent me a letter in my P.O. box. So before we hop into it, my name's Kyle, aka Prince Kyle, don't forget it. And I have an Instagram as well as a TikTok where I share my female to male transition, as well as give tips to anybody that would like to hear about it. Keep in mind, not everything that I list is going to be awkward to everybody. Everybody has different feelings about what makes them awkward or what makes them feel awkward. So first, using the urinal in public and having to adjust your STP so it's sitting in the right position, that can be extremely awkward because anyone that uses STPs knows that it has to be sitting like just right so that there's no spillage, because if you spill, especially in public, that's probably more embarrassing than just having to adjust it and people seeing you adjust yourself. So me, I find it extremely awkward when I'm trying to adjust my STP in the right position, which usually steers me to just end up using the stall so that I can then adjust in private. But then that kind of defeats the purpose because I like to use urinals. The way I figured that all out is nowadays they make STPs that are all-purpose. With that, I like to use STPs that not only are used for stand to pee but also packers, so it's already in position. You don't have to like get it out of your backpack or awkwardly move it around. But when I first started transitioning, I wasn't really aware of the multi-use STPs, and I would be using ones that were specifically for STP use, and it would be in my backpack, and then when I would have to go to the bathroom, I would awkwardly have to like shimmy it out of my backpack, put it around my waist, put it down my pants, put it in position, finish, clean, take it out, and it was a huge project and it just was horrible. If you are someone struggling with the same type of issue, definitely look for multi-use STPs, because the stand to pee devices that are only used for that and can't be used to pack with, you're gonna have a tough time trying to figure all that stuff out. Putting your prosthetic on for sex. Again, the multi-use ones will come great for this because in the beginning of my transition, I wasn't even using prosthetics. I was using regular strap-ons, and most trans guys, we don't really like using strap-ons because we associate that with like what lesbians typically use, and the prosthetics alleviate it a little bit more because it's more of like a actual penis, and the purpose is to mimic an actual penis and not just be used as a toy. So again, towards the beginning of my transition, I was always using strap-ons, and it would be really, really awkward when you guys are getting into the moment and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, hold on, let me put my on. Like, super awkward. But the way that I started to alleviate that awkward moment is just by, again, like I said, buying prosthetics that are multi-use so you can be wearing it all day and then you just whip it out when you're ready to do what you gotta do. Also, I just try and remember that even cis guys have awkward moments with putting like condoms on. They'll awkwardly have to do all that while telling their partner like, hold on a second, but I gotta get ready. So it happens to everybody. That awkward moment doesn't necessarily only happen for trans people. It can happen for all different types of people. This one I used to get all the time. I honestly got this one like ever since I was like 6 years old, but I would get it a lot right before I started physically transitioning, and that was being asked if I was a boy or a girl. So right out of high school, that was the stage where I was transitioning mentally. Like, I was aware that I was transgender. I knew I wanted to transition, but I had not started the physical transition yet. And so I worked at McDonald's at the time, and there was this one particular day that I remember like it was yesterday, and I was working in the back window as a order taker. The person came up to my window and they acted normal, but then when they went to the second window, they had asked my coworker, is the person in the back a boy or a girl? And mind you, it's because I did not physically transition, so anyone who stereotypes and assumes that men look a certain way or sound a certain way. Anyone that thinks that, they're gonna not know what you identify as if you have a very feminine voice but you appear masculine. The only thing was that my voice was extremely high and soft pitch. The way I would go about that, honestly, my whole entire life, is I would just go by what I identified as. So growing up as a kid, I didn't really know I was transgender yet, so if someone asked me if I was a boy or girl, I would just tell them I was a girl. And then the situation at McDonald's when I worked there, because I was technically out and I was transgender and I knew I was transgender, I pretty much would just tell them I'm a boy, even if they knew that I looked more or sounded more like a girl. I told them I was a boy, and if they didn't like it, then they could stop talking to me. If you are somebody in the mid stage of your transition and people are confused on whether you're a boy, girl, they, them, just tell them what you are, whether they're gonna believe you or not. Just stand strong with what you are, and that's how you just have to go about that. Being dead named in the doctor's office. I actually made a video about this happening to me in the gynecologist a few weeks ago. Pretty much it's just lack of communication. So I was in the gynecologist and they went to call me in the back room and they used my dead name even though they had my preferred name on file. It was just extremely awkward. Nobody said anything, nobody usually does, but for me it just made me feel really uncomfortable because I felt like all eyes were on me. What I now do and make sure happens every single time is before going to that appointment, I will make a phone call, or during the phone call process making the appointment, I will tell them, hey, do you guys have my preferred name on file? My legal name is this, but I no longer go by that. Can you guys make sure that when I come in that every single person uses my preferred name? So as soon as I walk in, when you guys ask me what is your name, date of birth, all that, you should have my preferred name on file. If you are somebody who also struggles with this happening to you in public at doctor's appointments, just make sure that you're communicating and make sure that whoever you're speaking to is 100% clear and aware of what you want them to call you. When somebody calls you, again, probably a doctor, where the communication is not there, when they call you and they say, may I speak to Mrs. blah blah blah. Now, again, my name is not legally changed, so when doctors do call me, they do initially say, may I speak to Mrs. And when they hear my voice, it doesn't really add up. So honestly, I do just answer the phone and I say, this is she. As cringy as that sounds and as crazy as you probably think it is that I'm doing that, like, Kyle, what the heck, why are you calling yourself a she? It's just a lot easier to start it off that way so that they know that they're not talking to somebody different who could be pretending to be you. It could just save a lot of trouble with like fake identities. So whenever a doctor calls me and says, may I speak to Mrs. blah blah blah, I'll say, yes, this is she, but I go by da 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 da, and my preferred pronouns are da 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 da. If you are in this kind of situation, I would recommend just going with the flow for the second, and then say, but I go by da 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 da. They will catch on rather quickly. Those are the 5 awkward moments that I have personally gone through. I have plenty more because, again, I'm a very awkward person. It's just in my nature. And if you do want to hear more awkward moments and you want to hear how to avoid these awkward moments from happening ever again, then make sure to leave a like and comment down below, and I will make a part 2 to this video. And then also, like I said, somebody did reach out to me and send me a letter in my P.O. box. The letter is kind of long, so I'm actually not gonna read it out loud, but I did promise that I would give them a shout out. So shout out to Romeo for sending me this letter. I really, really appreciate it. And if you do want me to write you back personally, just comment down below or message me. If anyone else wants to send me anything in my P.O. box, my P.O. box is gonna be in the description below, and then it's also on all my other socials. I love reading letters, so until next time, peace. Love y'all.